Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Cam from EpicConversions.com, and I want to talk to you guys about 5 reasons people aren't buying from you. It's funny. I tried to do this live stream a little bit earlier today, and for some reason it malfunctioned, and it didn't go well for me for some reason. I don't know what happened. It malfunctioned, and it just recorded a complete black screen for 30 minutes. Super annoying. Right? Super annoying. But that's what happened. So now I'm back for round 2 to do this piece of content. And we're gonna see if we can get it done this time. This is 5 reasons people aren't buying from you. Again, I'm Cam from Epic Conversions. If you like this content, there's 2 things that are critical that you want to do. One, I do these live streams about 5 days a week. Okay, so if you get any value out of this live stream, the best thing to do is to subscribe to my Substack here. I'm Cam from Epic Conversions, and I'm right here on Substack. The second thing, as you hear me go through these 5 reasons, generally when I do content like this, I give examples. Usually those examples run through my own personal experience. Because the things I talk about when it comes to business, it's all my own personal experience dealing with business. So I generally talk about my stuff quite a bit. I've been doing this for a long time. I started my current business, Epic Conversions, is actually 10 years old right now. This month, March, 10 years old. I started in March of 2016, so it's 10 years old. I started online back in 2011, so pretty cool. So I was online in 2011 to 2016, so it's about 5 years of online business, before I started Epic Conversions, and then started Epic Conversions. I've been running that for the last 10 years, so I got a lot of stories and stuff like that. So when I talk to you about 5 reasons people aren't buying from you, I want you to know I'm drawing off my own personal experience. So anyways, if you want to know more about my business and what I do, the best thing to do is to join my email list. Right now, I know I got a Substack here, and yes, you can subscribe to my Substack, and if you do that, you'll get to see a lot of my live streams, and that's great. But that's not the same as my main email list. Okay, you got to go to EpicConversions.com and subscribe to my main email list. And you think, well, why do I want to do that, Cam? Why would I want to do that? If you want to understand someone's business, if you want to know how they make their money online, one of the best things you can do, one of the first things you should do, is subscribe to their email list. What I've found is email is a direct path to money. Online, almost 80% of my financial transactions run through email. Okay, so if you want to know how someone is making their money online, what you want to do is subscribe to their email list and start to get a feel for what they're promoting and what they're selling, right? That's a good way to go about doing it. I find here in 2026, there appears to be quite a difference between what people say and what people do, it seems like. So, it's a good idea to subscribe to someone's list and see what they're actually doing. That's what I would say. So if you find anything I say interesting or you resonate with anything I say, it's a good step to jump on my email list. So that's what I'd say about that. That being said, let's talk about 5 reasons why people aren't buying from you. You're putting stuff out there, courses, services, products. People aren't buying them the way you want them to buy them. Why is this happening? What are 5 reasons why people aren't buying from you? All right, let's get right into it. 1. Oh, before I do this, let me just check to make sure this is working, because this is the second time I've done this today. And I am just like, dude, what is the deal? I want to make sure this is actually I want to make sure this is actually working. This is the second time I've done this today. I guess that's user error, There we go. Okay, I see it right now. So yeah, okay, I think we're good. All right, so very cool. All right, so yes. Why aren't people buying from you? Okay, I'm going to give you 5 reasons. 5 reasons why people aren't buying from you. And let me move this up. Okay, let me give you 5 reasons why people aren't buying from you. Okay, these are all from my personal experience, and if you can correct them, you'll do well. So what's the first one? The first one's very simple. They don't know you. They don't know you. Big reason why people don't buy from you is because they don't know you, right? How do you get people to know you? Well, I can tell you how you don't do it, and it's a problem that a lot of people are making this today. And in 2026, a lot of people are making this problem. They're going too heavy on automation. They're letting AI do too much for them, right? I see a lot of good brands and a lot of good businesses catching the AI bug, right? And they are so infatuated with the automation. They are so infatuated with AI that they are letting it make all these moves for them. And they're really not putting themselves out there. They're putting this kind of like AI version of themselves out there. And like that AI version passes the eyeball test. But that's not really them. That's not really you. Think about big corporations for a minute, right? Because this is relevant. Think about big corporations for a minute. When you think about a corporation like Nike, or you think about a corporation like Amazon, or you think about a corporation like Walmart, think about how they promote themselves, right? They either get behind a celebrity, so they put a face to it, right? Or they get behind an idea, right? They get behind this like kind of idea. Like I used to be like a big fan of New Balance, right? These tennis shoes, right? And I was a big fan of them because like in my mind, they made all their New Balances in the United States, right? And like, oh, this is one of the last tennis shoe companies to make tennis shoes in the U.S. And I was like, well, they believe in the United States and making shoes in the U.S. And I get behind that, man. I supported their big idea, and now later on I figured out that was a bunch of BS, and most of those New Balances are made in Vietnam, so it didn't matter anyway. But they got me for a little while there, they got me, and I believed in that idea. And if you want to learn more about this thing I'm talking about with ideas, a really good book that talks about this is Seth Godin's All Marketers Are Liars, right? It's a great book. I don't think you should be a liar, and that's not the point that Seth Godin's making in that book. But the point is, as it relates to what we're talking about here, if people don't know you, they don't want to buy from you generally, right? And when it comes to big corporations, they have a challenge. They're a giant corporation. They have, in many cases, thousands of employees. How can they get people to know them, right? And a lot of times the way they do it is they get a celebrity to promote them, or they like try to get behind a story. They try to tell this story surrounding their business, right? And that is how they want people to know them, right? So same with the New Balance thing. Recently I saw, Walter Goggins, big famous actor, doing these Walmart commercials. The other day I saw Shaq doing JCPenney commercials, right? And we saw Shaq doing Papa John's commercials a little while before that, and it's like, I mean, we see these big companies putting celebrity faces in front of their brand. Why? Because they're trying to put a face in front of their brand, right? Because they know people resonate with other people. People like to buy off of other people, and people can get behind an idea and buy an idea, all right? But people don't generally like to buy just from companies unless that company, it stands for something, right? Unless it has some kind of idea it stands for, right? So to circle this back to what we're talking about, if people don't know you, a lot of times they don't want to buy from you. They don't know what you stand for. They don't know what you're about. They don't always want to buy from you, right? That's not always the case, but a lot of times it is the case. People like to buy from other people, and they like to get behind ideas when they buy stuff, right? They buy generally with emotion. They justify those purchases with logic. And a lot of times those emotions run through ideas, right? So anyways, and to take that even deeper, a lot of times those ideas that they're supporting those ideas because it reflects them. It reflects them, right? It always ends up coming back to them in the end. So like if you buy something from me because you supported an idea, and I kind of told that story around my content, and I presented that idea, and you supported that idea, why? Because that tells a story about you, right? That's a story you're telling yourself about yourself. Same with those New Balances, okay? Why was I buying those New Balances? Because I believed in America. For a while, I bought my kids New Balances. We were a New Balance family, okay? Until my kids got old enough, they're like, Dad, I don't want to buy New Balances anymore. I don't want any of these New Balances anymore. So I was like, fine. But for a while, that's how it was. And it was like, why? Because they told a story I believed in. Why did I care about that? Man, because I resonated with that, right? That's how I saw myself, too, as someone who supported this country, and I want to stand behind these other businesses that support this country, right? So a lot of times, you know, when companies are trying to get you to know them, right, a lot of times when they tell that story, people buy from you based on that story because it reflects on themselves, okay? So, again, the first thing, people don't buy from you because they don't know you. You haven't done a good enough job at explaining who you are to them, what you're all about, all right? And again, you're not doing yourself any favors by using AI for all this content. I'm telling you right now, you're not. I do these live streams 4 to 5 times a week, all right? And there's a very specific strategic reason why I'm doing live streams right here, face-to-face with you. And that reason is very simple, because AI can't do this. AI cannot do it, right? So this, in my opinion, is a strategic advantage. A real person talking real business stuff to other real people, all right? And this is a human thing. This isn't like an AI thing, right? So that's why I do it. So that's one, they don't know you. All right, 2, they don't believe you. They don't believe you. What does that mean? What that means is, sure, they might know you, but they don't believe what you're saying. They don't believe what you're selling, all right? You're trying to sell something. They don't believe that thing is what you say it is. They don't believe it's going to deliver what you say it's going to deliver, right? They don't believe you. Just like I fell out of favor with New Balance, right? I ended up not believing them. I didn't believe them because I figured out some things about them that, you know, I figured out they were lying to me. Their story was BS. You know, it just wasn't true. You know, it was ridiculous. So they don't believe you. How can you get people to believe you, right? And how can you get people to know you, for that matter? Because I didn't really talk about how you can get people to know you. So with the first one, how do you get people to know you? You got to put yourself out there. You know, in your content, you got to put yourself out there. You got to be the genuine article. You got to think about what your business represents, right? What is the story of your business? Understand that story. How do you fit into that story? If you're the one who's putting yourself out there to promote your business, how do you fit into that story? And that is what needs to be going out there regularly. You need to stay congruent with that, okay? Put it out there regularly. That'll help them get to know you. Then if they don't believe you, what can you do about that? The best thing you can do when it comes to people not believing you is, to be honest with you, the best thing to do is make sure you're humble bragging, right? And I say that loosely, humble bragging, but what I mean is, like, as you accomplish things, you talk about your accomplishments. You put it out there. Like, it doesn't have to be monetary accomplishment, okay? It could be something you just did. Like, if you just did 30 live streams in a row, you know, like you live streamed every day for 30 days in a row. Talk about it. Hey, I just live streamed 30 days in a row on my Substack. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you exactly what I learned in my next live stream or whatever, right? You brag about the things you accomplish. You put it out there. You got to be your own. You got to sponsor yourself, basically. You got to put yourself a little bit of a pedestal. Why? We don't do this in real life. You know, it's not our natural, like, habitat. Like, I don't walk around in real life. Like if I help some little old lady across the street, I don't, like, run around to everybody I know and say, hey, did you know I just helped this little old lady across the street? I don't do that. If I let someone borrow $100, I don't run around to everyone I know and I say, like, hey, did you know I just let such and such borrow $100? I'm a good person. Can't you see? Look at all this cool stuff I'm doing. I don't do that in real life. So like, why do we have to do it online? Why do we have to do it online? You have to do it online because no one is paying attention to you. It's a very, very busy environment. It's a very busy atmosphere. No one cares about you. No one's paying attention to you. And what happens is the squeaky wheel gets the grease online. The people who are talking about themselves, the people who are basically setting the narrative, they are setting their own narrative. Those are the people who get attention paid to them, okay? So what you need to do is you need to pay attention to everything you're doing and kind of like be your own color commentator, you know? You ever watch like football games or baseball games, especially like if you listen to them on the radio, you got like the play-by-play color commentator that tells you play-by-play what's happening in the game, right? Well, you kind of need to be that person for your business, right? And if you are that person for your business and you talk about the things you're doing and the things that are happening, then what happens is people do start to believe you. They start to believe you because you are basically being your own color commentator. As things are happening, you're talking about the things that are happening. So what happens is you're given the impression that you are taking action. You are moving and shaking. And one thing I know is that people are attracted to action, okay? People inherently are attracted to action. So, if you be your own color commentator, you got to be your first sponsor, okay? You got to be sponsoring yourself. If you can do that, then people will start to believe you more, all right? So that's a little bit of a hard thing to do for some people, you know? They don't like to talk about every single little thing they're doing. And by the way, this includes failures, okay? This includes failures. It's okay to talk about your failures. If you're trying something and it's not working, it's okay to talk about it. The fact of the matter is, people can learn from your failures. I'd rather learn from someone else's failure than fail myself, okay? You know? Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people, they don't want to put their failures out there. They feel like it diminishes their authority. Right? They feel like it undermines their authority a little bit, and so they don't want to do it. They only want to put like the perfect shots out there. But that's not really how I operate. That hasn't been what I've done, and it's worked fine for me. In fact, I think it's the opposite. I think that when you put your failures out there, you actually get people to trust you more, right? And they actually believe you more. We talk about this problem of people not buying from you because they don't believe you. Well, guess what? When you start putting your failures out there, people start believing you, because most people don't, they don't make up lies about their failures, right? It's hard. You got to humble yourself to say you messed up, right? So what I've found over the years is it's okay to talk about your mess ups, right? And you actually just endear yourself to people, and they will follow you more. Again, just because you're failing, that doesn't mean that people aren't going to be attracted to action. You can as long as you keep on taking action, people are still going to be tuning in to see what you got going on. So that's the second thing. Either one, they don't know you. Two, they don't believe you, right? So those are two things that'll keep people from buying from you. And I just gave you two ways to work around that. Three, they don't like you. Right? This is another reason why people won't buy from you. They don't like you, right? Now, this is an easy one, all right? This is an easy one because what you have to understand is that there's always going to be people who don't like you. It's simple, right? There's nothing you have to do about this one. And in fact, if people don't like you, that's actually a good thing. Things are working exactly the way you need them to be working. If everybody liked you, guess what? Your content is probably too diluted, right? Your services are probably, too kind of mediocre, too milquetoast, as some people would say. If you have your own opinions, if you have your own ideas about things, right, and you have something to say that matters, then it's not going to be the same as what everyone else is saying, okay? It's not going to be exactly the same as everyone else. You're going to have your own kind of ideas about things, all right? And as long as when you start having your own ideas about things, not everyone's going to agree with you. Not everyone's going to agree with your opinions. You start having opinions about things, not everybody's going to feel the same way. And that's okay. That's all right. What's going to happen is you're going to repel the people who don't like you, and you're going to attract the people who do like you. And the people who do like you, they're going to like you even more because of your strong opinions. And what that's going to mean is you can actually make more money, okay? You can charge more for your stuff because the people who like you are willing to pay more for your stuff, right? They like your strong opinions. They don't care if all these other people don't like you, okay? But you try to please everybody, what happens is you end up pleasing nobody. So yes, a third reason why people aren't buying from you is that they don't like you, but you got to understand that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You don't need to sell to everybody, okay? I live in a town with like 60,000 people. And, think about that for a minute. I mean, how many of them do I need to make $10,000 a month? How many of them do I need to make $10,000 a month? There's 60,000 of them. If I just had like a sixth of them to pay me $1 a month, I'm going to make $10,000 a month. All I need is 10,000 of them to pay me $1 a month. That's a sixth of my town. So, I don't need everybody to like me. In the little scenario I just gave you, I just need a sixth of them to like me. So, again, you don't need everybody to like you. Don't worry about it. People aren't going to like you. You could be the best person in the world. You could be running the most perfect business in the world. You could be curing cancer. You could be like finding the fountain of youth, right? And guess what? There's still going to be some people who hate you. They're going to find a reason, man. It could just be blind envy. They just don't like you because you're doing too much good stuff. Maybe they're jealous, but they won't admit they're jealous, so they just find a reason not to like you. But it doesn't matter how good you are. There's always going to be people who don't like you. So again, number 3, people not liking you is a reason why people aren't going to buy from you. But just understand, not everybody's going to buy from you. You don't need everybody to buy from you. Okay, what's the 4th one? The 4th one is they don't care about what you're selling. They don't care about what you're selling. Now, this 4th one, people not caring about what you're selling, this could be one of 2 things. So this is a little tricky, right? One, it could be that your product just doesn't resonate with your market, right? Now, the reason I have found that this happens the most is that you are not paying enough attention to your market, and like you're kind of putting the cart before the horse, so to speak. You fall in love with a product that you think is awesome, but you're not paying enough attention to your market, right? It doesn't fit in with your market, right? And then what happens is your market doesn't resonate with it. They don't want it. They don't want it. That's one thing that could happen, all right? Now, the reason it's tricky is because there's another thing that could happen, and I'll tell you about that now. The second thing that could happen, all right, is like that you have not done a good enough job of conveying what it is you're selling on the sales page, okay? You haven't done a good enough job of conveying the unique selling proposition of your product. You haven't done a good, like when you created this product, you got excited to create this product. You got excited to make it. You were motivated to make it. You were ready to rock and roll. You dedicated time to it, energy to it. In some cases, you dedicated money to it. You invested in it. You got it going. You were excited. You launch it. Crickets. No one's buying. All right? It might be because the product is not resonating with your market, but it also could be that you haven't done a good enough job of captivating your audience and conveying your offer to your audience. That could also be the problem. Now, what I have found is oftentimes that is the problem. However, what if you have the first problem? What if you have the first problem where you're putting out offers that don't resonate with your market, right? That's not a good offer for your market. If that is the problem you're having, then what that is a good indication of is that you haven't studied your market well enough. You have not studied them well enough. You need to understand your market. Before you ever bother creating a product, you need to know what they want. You need to know what they want. You need to know what they're buying. You need to know what they're all about, right? You need to know what they're all about. So, if your problem is that, study your market better before you put out another product. Now, the second one, conveying your offer properly. Oftentimes, this is what the problem is. Oftentimes, people give up on their products too soon. They give up on their products too soon. They're not conveying their offer properly in a way that would, get people excited about their product the way they were excited about their product on the sales page. People aren't excited the way they are excited. A lot of times, that runs through the headline. It runs through the subhead. It runs through anything they see in the first 10 seconds of hitting your sales page, right? That captivation portion of your sales page. You got to get that right. You got to pull people in. And you can very easily get that wrong and still have a great product. But if you get that wrong, it's going to fail to convert very well. So both of those things could be a reason why they don't care about what you're selling. Either the product doesn't resonate with them, or you failed to convey the product properly. Both of those things could be an issue. A lot of times you won't know until you launch it and you run through a couple iterations of your sales page, right? If I launch a product and it's not converting very well, like I say, like if I'm running warm traffic to it and I'm not converting at least 10%, I assume I'm having a problem with my sales page, and I'll try to adjust my sales page a little bit. Usually it starts with the headline. And if I can't get it above 10%, then yeah, I mean, no matter what I'm trying, my market's not resonating with it, right? So that would be an indication that the product itself is a flop. But generally, with someone like me, I've been dealing with my market for a long time, so I feel like I know them very well. So in a case like mine, when I have a product that's flopping like that, it's generally because I'm not conveying it properly on the sales page. I'll give you an example because I'm not immune to this, okay? I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm still not immune to this. Just last year, in 2025, I launched what I call an audio newsletter, right? It was an audio newsletter. I was like in love with this idea of audio newsletter, right? I even had people say, Cam, what the heck's an audio newsletter? I don't know what that is. And I had to explain it. And even as I'm explaining, I said, oh, it's an audio newsletter. It's like a hybrid. It's a cross between an audio training and a podcast. It's like kind of a cross between these two things. You listen to it. It's not quite an audio training. It's not quite a podcast. It's an audio newsletter, right? Even as I was explaining it to people, I was like in love with this idea, right? Man, you would have thought that I was like the next Uber or something. Like I have redefined what a taxi cab company is, right? That's how I was viewing this situation. I was in love with it, right? So I launched voicemail, and it did okay. It did okay. I mean, I had like a minimum viable expectation for voicemail as far as subscribers goes, because this is a newsletter. This is a paid audio newsletter. I had a minimal viable expectation for subscribers, and then I had like a stretch goal for subscribers. And what happened was I just barely crossed my minimum viable expectation for subscribers for voicemail. So it wasn't doing that well. It was like kind of flopperooski, it was doing all right, it was all right. It wasn't like exceeding expectations or anything. So I was like kind of like trying to figure out what I could do to kind of like get it going, And the thing about it is, like, my natural instinct was to think that I guess this is so crazy. I guess people just don't resonate with this audio newsletter, man. I guess this is just not something people are interested in. But think about that for a second. That's ridiculous. That's preposterous. Audio trainings are proven to sell. I have sold plenty of audio trainings, and they sell just fine. Podcasts are proven to sell. Plenty of people listen to podcasts. Plenty of people love podcasts. So this idea of an audio product is not a foreign thing, okay? People resonate with audio products. You can sell audio products. So what is it? I'm failing to convey it properly on my sales page, what it is. Why was I failing to convey it properly? Because I was in love with this idea of an audio newsletter. But guess what? My market wasn't in love with the idea of an audio newsletter. They don't care about an audio newsletter. There's a fine line between captivation and confusion, okay? Confusion repels people. Captivation attracts people. Okay, so like when I start talking audio newsletter, what am I doing? I'm repelling people. They don't know what it is. They don't even want to take the time to figure out what it is. They're out, dude. I'm out on it, And so yeah, man, I wasn't conveying it properly on the sales page. The fact of the matter is, the product I was dealing with is a proven product. There's no reason why I can't sell an audio training. There's no reason why I can't sell a monthly audio training subscription. The only problem was how I was conveying it on the sales page. So anyways, the story with that was I ended up running it for a year, and then I ended up packing it and bundling it in with another subscription that I started in 2026 called Epic Conversions Monthly. So now when people join Epic Conversions Monthly, they also get voicemail as kind of a bonus subscription. So, and it's a weekly voicemail is a weekly audio feed. It's a weekly audio feed. So it's like basically like a premium podcast, I guess you could say. But you get it weekly. It's pretty cool. And it's one of my favorite products that I create, to be honest. I really love voicemail. But I've been running it for, this is my second year running it now. And, but it's cool. But that's a prime example. To come back to what we're talking about, that's a prime example of people not caring about what you're selling. All right. This is a reason why people won't buy from you. They don't care about what you're selling. And if they don't care about what you're selling, it's generally one of two things. It's either your product doesn't resonate with them, all right? And in that case, you need to learn your market better, all right? It's fine to take that one on the chin and you put out a product nobody cares about. Okay, fine. You can take that on the chin. That's an asset that you can package up with something else, and it can be like a bonus or something. You can still use it. It's an asset you can use. But get to know your market better so that doesn't happen to you anymore. And then the other thing is you could be failing to convey it properly on your sales page, and this happens also. These are two reasons why they won't care about what you're selling, and these are two sides of the same coin. All right. So anyways, I got one more for you. Before I tell you this last one, I want to remind you, okay? I am Cam from Epic Conversions. I do these live streams like 4 or 5 times a week, okay? So if you enjoy this, if you're getting something out of this, subscribe to my Substack, man. Subscribe to my Substack. You'll get to catch these live, and it'll be cool. If you want to learn more about my business, if that voicemail thing sounds cool to you, if Epic Conversions Monthly sounds cool to you, the best thing to do is go over to epicconversions.com, sign up for my email list, right? That's the best way to get to know someone else's business. Get on their email list. But if you're interested in Epic Conversions Monthly and voicemail, all you got to do is go to epicconversions.com, scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a link to Epic Conversions Monthly. Easy as pie. And like you won't believe the bonuses I'm giving away for that right now. It's so crazy. I can't even believe I'm giving that much away for people who join Epic Conversions Monthly. I've never given that much away for people to join something before. So it's absolutely crazy. I don't even know how long I'm going to leave that on the table. I'm probably going to take that off the table pretty soon because it doesn't make any sense. So I'm just doing it to do it. Just doing it to do it, man. Just for the love of the game. But anyways, so let me get into 5. Let me get into number 5. All right, number 5. Remember that Short Circuit movie? Number 5 is alive. Anyways, number 5. They don't think of you. They don't think of you. All right. Now this comes back to something that a lot of us call TOMA. TOMA, top of mind awareness. TOMA. What is TOMA? What is top of mind awareness? That's like basically like when you think, oh man, I need to buy a new pair of shoes, right? You kind of like probably got a couple brands in your mind when you think of tennis shoes, right? Maybe you got like Nike, maybe you got like New Balance, whatever, Converse, you think, oh man, I want to get a hamburger, Maybe you got a restaurant or a couple restaurants in your mind about who sells hamburgers, How do companies get that space in your mind? How do they get that? Like you just identify certain things. Like if I want to get some cereal, like if I go to the store and I want to get some cereal, it's like I'll already have like certain brands in my mind about who sells cereal. Oh, Kellogg's, I can't think of any of the cereal brands right now. I mean, Post, Kellogg's, Post, Quaker Oats, these are brands like for breakfast foods. They're just kind of like taking up space in our minds. There's way more brands out there that sell breakfast foods, but we don't think about them. These few brands take up space in our minds, and that's called TOMA, right? Top of mind awareness. Like all companies want TOMA. They seek TOMA, right? Why? Because they sell more. If that's a brand that's in your mind, when you go to buy something, they're going to get more sales. That's obvious. Like if I'm going to go get a pair of tennis shoes and I already got Nike in my mind, there's a very good chance I'm going to walk out of the shoe store with a pair of Nikes. Or there's a very good chance when I go online, I'm going to buy a pair of Nikes. Very good chance. They've already taken up space in my mind. That's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm visualizing in my mind when I think I need that thing, you know? Like tools, you know? Tools. Like I'm a tool guy. I need tools to do things, you know? And I like think of some good tools, you know? Like I got an impact driver. It's one of my favorite tools that I own, an impact driver. I use it for so many things. It's a DeWalt. It's a DeWalt impact driver. And, you know, DeWalt, they make good drills. They make good impact drivers. I think they do really good, nice job, man. My impact driver never fails me. But when I think, like, oh, I need a drill or I need some kind of, like, thing like that, I think DeWalt. I think of the yellow and black, right? That's what I think. So they got that TOMA. They've achieved that TOMA, that top-of-mind awareness. So what I'm telling you is if you don't have TOMA, right, that could be a reason why people aren't buying from you. If you don't have TOMA for anything, right, now think about it, man. Like, you want to achieve some kind of TOMA for some kind of problem. You don't have to be like, you know, going toe-to-toe with like Gary Vaynerchuk or going toe-to-toe with like Alex Hormozy. It's going to be hard to achieve TOMA for, you know, online business consulting, right? It's going to be hard to achieve TOMA for that. But can you niche down? Can you niche down and just try to solve one problem and achieve TOMA for that problem? Because if you can like kind of put yourself in people's mind, if you can put yourself in the conversation that's already happening in people's mind for that one problem, then what happens is they start thinking about you when they want to solve that problem. And what's going to happen when that happens is you're going to get more sales. Okay? So anyways, that's TOMA. That's top of mind awareness. And you know, the best way to achieve TOMA is to make sure you're putting yourself out there regularly. And you can do that either with free content, like what I'm doing here, free content, or you got an advertising budget, you know, and you can put yourself out there all over the place with an advertising budget. So those are two ways to kind of create this omnipresence, putting yourself out there. Think Ty Lopez back in the day, a few years ago, here in my garage videos, right? He just like completely dominated YouTube ads, and his ads were everywhere. He achieved TOMA in the online business space with those viral videos, and he used an advertising budget to achieve that, right? And so putting yourself out there, achieving some kind of omnipresence with your content can help you achieve TOMA. And then the other thing that can help you achieve TOMA is niching down. So you're not going toe-to-toe with people who have far bigger advertising budgets than you do, right? Because generally, when you try to go toe-to-toe with someone who's got a lot more money to spend on advertising than you, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. And what happens when you lose? You already know what that means. You don't sell as much. You don't sell as much stuff. All right? So anyways, just to recap, the five ways that'll keep people from buying from you. 1, they don't know you. 2, they don't believe you. 3, they don't like you. 4, they don't care about what you're selling. And 5, they don't even think of you. Now, if you caught this at the end and didn't hear all the stuff I said to fix those 5 problems, then go back and check this video out. If you like this video, subscribe to my Substack. Okay, I do these videos 4 to 5 times a week. If you like this, you'll probably like my other ones too. Also, you help me a great deal if you comment on my videos, if you restack my videos, if you share my videos with other people you think they might help, you help me out a great deal. If you subscribe to my Substack, you help me out a great deal. In these ways, you help me. That's a great way that you could say, hey, Cam, thanks for sharing that information with me. It was helpful. And by the way, I'm a real person, okay? When I don't have any comments on my videos, man, that's discouraging for me, man. It makes me feel like I'm working for no reason, right? So I love to hear your comments, okay? I love it when you take the time to comment on these videos. It makes me feel like I'm helping people. It makes me feel like I'm doing good work out here. So do not ever be afraid to comment on my videos. I want to hear from you. I love to hear from you. And you help me out immensely when you comment on my videos, when you share my work. You help me out immensely, and I appreciate it. I am grateful to you. That's all I got. I hope you guys are doing amazing, and I will see you in the next one. Peace now. Be good.